America tax rate. In other words, if you make your product in America, so the tax rate was practically close to 50%. Some people would say 38, but when you added it all up, some companies are paying much more with state and local, much more than 50%. But I got it down to 21% through Congress. Can you believe we got it through Congress? A lot of people say it was the greatest thing we did. I think maybe rebuilding the military was the greatest thing. Maybe the creation, maybe the creation of Space Force was the greatest. You know, we were being beaten badly in space, and now we're the leader in space. China and Russia were eating our lunch, and now we're eating their lunch. And we did so much. We gave you before the greatest, the biggest tax hikes in the history of our country, and the greatest regulatory cuts in the history. Think of it. We gave you, we took their tremendous tax hikes. We gave you the greatest tax cuts in the history of our country, bigger than Ronald Reagan's tax cuts, bigger than anybody's. And the hikes, they want to do it now. They want to hike your taxes at levels that we've never had before. 80%, 70% was a number that she thought sounded good. But we gave you the biggest tax cuts in history, and now we gave you the biggest regulation cuts, and that's how we had that tremendous growth. That's how we had the greatest job production in history. But this is going to blow that away. We're cutting the business tax now. We brought it down to 21%. So you could say it was over 50, but you could also say it was 39%. We got it down to 21%. Some of you great Congress people are here, and they are very, very instrumental in having done that. But now we're cutting the business tax from 21% to 15%, which makes us the most competitive tax anywhere on the planet, but only for those who make their product in the USA. See, that's an incentive. So we already cut it to 21%, and it was the 21%, that big cut. It was the 21 plus the regulatory cuts that gave us the greatest economy in our history. It was the greatest economy in the history of our country. And now what we're doing is taking it one step further, and a bigger step, actually. We're bringing it down to 15. Now we're the most competitive in the world. At 21, we were pretty good. At 15, we're the most competitive. People are going to be pouring in, companies are going to be pouring in, and we're going to continue with the regulatory cuts, and that'll be at a level, you know, we already beat every record for regulatory cuts. The problem is that Biden and Harris have put many of those regulatory cuts back in the books, and they didn't do anything. They were old, stayed. All they did was stop business. But we have US-based manufacturers will also be rewarded with expanded research and development tax credits. You'll be able to write off 100% of the cost of heavy machinery and other equipment in the first year. And full expensing for new manufacturing investments. So you're going to get full expensing. In other words, you have a one-year write-off. You buy something, you have a one-year write-off, which gives you, I did that 1 year. We had a 5-year deal. During the period, you had a 1 year, you had a write-off, you take it off. The business boomed, and it was coming in at levels never seen before. And had we not been interrupted, and make sure there's no cheating in this election, please. What a different world we would have had. But it all helped to build the sprawling, state-of-the-art plants our country needs to be an industrial superpower in the modern world. We're going to have companies pouring into our country under this plan. And under my plan, we will cut energy and electricity prices in half within 12 months. And that means for your homes, too. We will commit, because of the fact that we're lucky. You know, China does not have this. Can you imagine? They want to go to electric cars, our people, but we don't have the product for electric cars. We have the product for gasoline-powered cars under our feet, and hybrids. And we want to have electric cars. Hey, Elon Musk is great, right? He makes an excellent car, an electric car. And he endorsed me at a level that you wouldn't believe. Every day he said, we got to have Trump. He's a great guy. And he understands his product is phenomenal. And there's a great place for electric cars, but you have to have gasoline powered cars too. You have to have hybrids. You have to have everything. You know, the new thing, and I'm sure Elon will get it if it's any good, but it's got one little problem. It explodes. Hydrogen. They say the new thing is hydrogen cars, but they're having a problem. If it explodes, you end up about 7 blocks away and you're dead. So personally, I don't know about you, but I'm going to take a pass. But maybe they'll figure it out. But right now, I wouldn't recommend it. But there'll be other things happening, and they'll be great. But we don't want to have, they have the electric mandate. We'll be ending the electric mandate, all electric cars. We'll be ending that immediately. But more importantly, we will be able to quickly double our electric capacity, which will be needed to compete with China and other countries on artificial intelligence. You know, to do artificial, which is a big hot thing that's happening now. They say it's the next big wave. I don't know. It comes with risk, but it's the next hot thing. But it needs massive amounts of electricity. So if you took all of the electricity in our country right now, which isn't enough, because in California with Governor Newsom, you have blackouts and brownouts. How about him? He wants to go all electric cars, but he can't give you air conditioning in the summer, right? Let's go all electric, but we have a blackout every 10 seconds. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're going to do things that nobody has ever really had the courage to do, but it doesn't take courage. It's common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense, okay? We're conservative, all that stuff. Who cares? We are the party of common sense. We will build new power plants. But think of this, the electric. So if you took all of the electric that we have right now in our country, you need that more than doubled to be able to compete with China. So they need more than double the electricity that we currently have to have the artificial intelligence, which will be a massive field. And China is already building plants, electric plants. And we have a problem because we have things called environmental impact statements and various things that you have to go through. I will get them approved so fast because China doesn't really need approval. President Xi says, okay, build that plant. That's the end. There's no environmental impact statement. I would ask him, President, do you go through an environmental impact statement? He says, I am the environmental impact statement. With us, you go through years and years of torture, but we're going to do it on an expedited basis. And with the lowest energy prices on earth, we will have the lowest energy prices on earth because we got lucky. We're right on top of the best stuff in the world. And I'll put Anwar back into play. You know, for Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. They couldn't get it done. Anwar in Alaska, the biggest field probably in the world, maybe bigger than Saudi Arabia. I got it done. I was so proud of it. I got it done. In his first week, they terminated it. The biggest field anywhere in the world that would supply Asia, would make so much money, would pay down debt so fast. And Biden rejected it. And when I terminated the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2, Biden approved it. But he terminated our pipeline, which is Nord Stream, right? The Nord Stream is the Russia, which is Keystone, the Keystone XL. He terminated our pipeline, but he approved the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2, going all over Europe, heading to Germany, but going all over Europe. And I just said, what the hell is going on? This was early on. This is in the first weeks of his administration. And I said, what's going on? And then they say, so think of it. I terminated the Russian pipeline. And then they said, Donald Trump was very friendly with Russia. That was the biggest thing that they've ever done. And I terminated it. When he came in, one of the first things he did is he approved the pipeline that I terminated. And they say, I was nice. That was the biggest. Putin told me, if you're like this, I would hate like hell to see if you were bad. They say that you've been nice to me. You have not been nice to me. With all the sanctions but we had the fake Russia hoax, which, by the way, endangers our country when they do that. It turned out to be a total fake. Endangers, we can't have that. From the standpoint of even business, we have to be able to get along with other nations. We have to be able to use the minerals and other things that they have. But we have to make the proper deals because we can, with the proper deals, there will be nobody on earth that can compete with us in business. We will attract energy-hungry industries. There are a lot of industries will never be able to make it in certain areas because they don't have energy, but we have energy-hungry industries that will attract them from all over the planet, meaning millions and millions of blue-collar jobs and jobs of every type. To slash burdens on workers and businesses, we will cut 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. And I did that for 4 years, and we got it up to 7 for 1. Nobody's ever seen. I cut more regulations than any president in history in 4 years. And we will set up special zones of federal land with ultra-low taxes and regulations for American producers. These will be ideal spots for relocating entire industries that we've taken in from other countries. They're going to come in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. They want to be here. They want to be, but they were forced to be out because in this country, we were so unfriendly in so many different ways, but especially with our tax policy. We will seriously expedite environmental approvals, and we will get everything approved quickly to unleash mineral production and rare earth. They think we have to go to China for rare earth. We don't. We have more rare earth than they do, but it's protected environmentally. We can't do anything about it. We're going to do something about it. We're going to use our resources to our benefit. And it'll be clean and environmentally perfect so that Americans can manufacture everything that we need, the resources we have right here. American soil, it's got everything. It's got the rare earth, it's got the oil, it's got the gas. We have everything. The only thing we don't have is smart people leading our country. Thank you very much. We're sitting on trillions and trillions of dollars under our feet, and let's use that to make America rich again. Is that okay? We'll pay off the debt. We'll reduce your taxes. It'll be a beautiful thing. You'll never have this. It'll be a renaissance. It'll be a golden period. It'll be a beautiful period. Finally, to exploit these pro-manufacturing policies, their full potential is going to happen. It's going to happen very quickly. I will appoint a manufacturing ambassador whose sole task, and it'll be a great one, will be to go around the world and convince major manufacturers to pack up and move back to America where they want to be. They want to be. For years, we watched other countries steal our jobs. Now we are going to be going after their jobs and bringing them back to America where they belong and where, frankly, they want to be. They want to be. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, she will deindustrialize the United States and destroy our country. We will become virtually a banana republic. We will be destroyed. Their plans are horrible. And if they wanted their plans, again, I say it all the time. I said it during the debate, where, by the way, we absolutely destroyed her, except for the fakers on a microphone. Oh, she did very well tonight. She did very well. She did very well. She couldn't put 2 sentences together. Take a look at her answers. And it was 3 on 1, too. ABC ought to be ashamed. It was 3 on 1. And actually, it's also interesting because after that horrible situation, because it's the fake news all over again. Fake news, you got a lot of them back here, by the way. But it's the fake news. But you know what? My numbers, look at the numbers today. The numbers are higher than they've ever been. We've never had numbers this good. So something happened that was pretty good. But it was interesting. I couldn't believe. I thought she was so bad. I came off that stage. I said, She was so bad. You know, one of the things, he's the GOAT of debates. I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? They said, greatest of all time, 21 debates. And I thought that was one of my best debates. But, you know, after they spin better than anybody. Well, I don't know if I thought he did too well tonight. And wasn't she really terrific? She didn't say anything except lies like a bloodbath, like Charlottetown. She lied. And you know what I say, just in finishing this topic? Because they'll say, oh, he fell into a trap. He talked. You know, when somebody says something bad about you, if you then, nobody else, this only happens to me. If I then refute them, Marjorie, if I say, that's not true, and just give a few seconds and people understand it, they say, he fell into a trap. Now, if they say bad about me, I got to refute it. I do it quickly, but I refute it. As soon as I refute, oh, he fell into a trap. Why would I let her say something bad about me and let it stand out there? If I don't refute it, people are going to think it's true. These people are the worst. These people are the worst. But it's been amazing what's been happening, and they're hearing what we're doing policy-wise, military-wise, border-wise, maybe especially border. You know, in 2016, I won on the border, and we fixed the border very quickly, and I was very proud of it. After that, nobody wanted me to talk about the border. They said, sir, it's been fixed. You know, I said, I want to talk about the border. They wouldn't let me, even though we got 12 million more votes in the following in 2020. We got 12. But listen, there is more enthusiasm now than there ever was for 2016 or for 2020 because of how bad they are, because of how good a job we did and how bad they are. Under Kamala, there will be no car industry, no steel industry, no significant manufacturing of any kind, and we will be at risk of military defeat. You know that, right? A very simple fact is this: if you don't have steel, you don't have a military. And I'm not going to allow, and I said it before and I'll say it again, and I got along with a great gentleman, Shinzo Abe from Japan. He was assassinated. He was a great gentleman. But I said, Shinzo, we have to change our trade deal. And he said to me, I knew you were going to come with that. I said, well, why did you know? He said, for 25 years, no American has said that to us. They got away with murder. And we changed the deal. And the deal we now have is really good. But the deal we're going to have is going to be beyond belief with every, not just with Japan, with every company and every, frankly, with their companies and with their nations. I'm not going to allow Japan to buy U.S. steel. I'm not going to let it happen. 70 years ago, again, the greatest company on earth. Vote for Trump and you will see a mass exodus of manufacturing from China to Pennsylvania, from Korea to North Carolina, from Germany to right here in Georgia. They're going to come to Georgia from Germany and lots of other places. And no matter where I go, and I go to a lot of places, we're definitely outworking the opposition. She'll go to one place in 3 days. I say, why can't I do that? Yesterday, I was in Pennsylvania. I made 5 stops, 3 speeches. People say, how do you do it, sir? Then I said, where am I going tomorrow? Sir, you're going to Savannah. Oh, what time are we leaving? 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, great. I got home. You get home at 11, 12, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. When am I going tomorrow? I'm going to Savannah, Georgia. Well, I love you, but I wouldn't mind leaving at 11 or 12 or 1. I'd be just as happy to be on. Sir, we're leaving. Sir, we're leaving at 9 o'clock. We're leaving at 8 o'clock. But it's okay. It's okay. It's worth it. But look, the way I look at it, we have no choice. If we don't win this election, we don't have a country anymore. So we're going to work our asses off. We're going to work our asses off. We will bring back the American dream bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. It's going to happen. We're pleased to be joined today by former Senator David Perdue, who is really working hard on the campaign. David, where is David? Where is he? Oh, see, he's such a nice guy. He didn't even want to stand up. He just wants to get the job done. That's what you do. You're a great guy, David. I appreciate it. Everyone's telling me you're working so hard. I said, where's David? He's working, he's working. And he's working on the campaign. He wants to get it done. We have another great gentleman, a really fine guy, a fantastic political person, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Burt, stand up, Burt. And his incredible father is here. Good genetics in that family. Thank you very much. Great honor to have you. Representatives, and these are warriors, Buddy Carter. Buddy, warrior. Great guy. And a very shy, quiet person, doesn't like mixing it up too much. But she is really highly respected in Washington, and she's fantastic. Marjorie Taylor Greene. And of course, a woman that we all love, and especially we love her in Georgia, Alveda King. Thank you very much, Alveda, for being here. And I also want to thank Governor Kemp. He's been fantastic. He really has been fantastic, and we're going to get this done. But I want to thank Governor Kemp for his support, great support. Starting on day one, I will seal the border and stop the migrant invasion of our country. After almost 4 years, border czar Kamala Harris has decided for political reasons that it's time for her to go to the border. Finally, she's gone to the border 4 years. What a disgrace that is, that she waited so long, allowing millions and millions of people to enter our country from prisons and jails, mental institutions and insane asylums, and criminal cells all over the world, not just from South America, but many of them are terrorists, and they are coming from Africa. They're coming from the Congo, large numbers from the Congo. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from South America. But not only South America, they're coming from all over the world. It's really just what they're doing to the fabric, to the guts of our country. It's not even believable. And you see what's going on. You see what's going on. They're taking over towns and cities, and they're taking them over with weapons. They're taking them over with weapons that are military quality weapons. Where the hell are they getting the weapons? But she's trying to con the public that she did a good job at the border. She's actually saying, no, I did a good job at the border. Remember, you know, when she says we're working on the border, she still has airplanes flying in loaded up with migrants over the border. She thought she wouldn't get caught. It took them about 2 years to figure that one out. It was a little strange. Brand new, beautiful, large Boeing jets are landing in airports all over our country, and migrants are getting out. It took a little while to figure that one out. So they talk about the border, but they have planes to this day flying in, loaded up, hundreds of thousands of people being flown into all parts of our country, destroying our country. And she's destroyed the very fabric of our nation, allowing 21 million people to come in, at least, into our country. And think of it, totally unvetted, from places unknown. No checks, no names, no nothing, just come on in. But they do. They come from prisons and they come from mental institutions. It's a terrible thing. And many, many terrorists at levels that nobody's ever seen before. You know, during my 4 years, I saw the other day, they had 1 year where they had zero. I don't believe that. This was done by Border Patrol. Oh, you know, I have you know, my all-time favorite chart in history, right? I have a chart that's my all-time favorite. I love that. Is it around? Is it around? I love that chart. I sleep with that chart every night. I kiss it. I love it. Because that chart saved my life. I looked to the right, bing. If I didn't look to the right, I wouldn't be here with you today, I guarantee you that. And it was amazing because that chart is seldom used, because I don't like to brag. It's seldom used. But when it is used, it's always on my left. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of the speech. And I do a lot of things without a teleprompter. Isn't it nice, by the way, to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? Isn't it nice? Because a lot of, I don't often use a teleprompter, because if you use a teleprompter, it gets very boring. If I read every single word, I could go right down and you'd be in and out of here in 35 minutes. You say, that was pretty boring, wasn't it? Even with the good numbers that we're putting up, that would be boring. This chart is the greatest thing ever. I said, let me see the chart, bring it down. That was a lucky one, but maybe not lucky, maybe right up there. Maybe not lucky. Maybe, I think, my two sons are great shooters, and they said, Dad, from 130 yards, a bad shooter couldn't miss with that gun, AR-15. And we lost a great, as you know, great fireman and two other people we thought we lost, but the doctors were phenomenal. The local doctors, they were sort of country doctors. They were phenomenal. They saved them. They're okay. And the nice part, a friend of mine came up to me and said, the firefighter, Corey, great guy, beautiful family, beautiful wife, daughters. He jumped on top of his daughter, so he got hit right in the head. Right. But I don't know if I've said this publicly, but a friend of mine came, a member of Mar-a-Lago came up to me. He said, I'd like to give the family, and this is not a family with a good life in a safe community. There's no crime. There's no muggings. There's no pushing people into subways. There's no anything. It's a nice community. And Butler, and a friend of mine came up and he said, I'd love to give the family of the fireman a check for something. I said, good. I think it would be great. How much? He said, I don't know. And he handed me a check, signed it, $1 million. I said, wow. And then, when it was presented to this incredible wife of Corey, really incredible, devastated by what happened. He was a big fan. He was a big Trump guy. He had everything. They all were, all three, but the crowd was as far as they said 55,000 people, as far as the eye could see, and nobody left. When those bullets went off, like if it happens at a soccer game, they hear a bullet, everyone, they call it a stampede, like cattle. It's a stampede, and people are killed. Many people are killed. These bullets went off, but not one. There were a lot of them, 8, 9, and they went off. Secret Service shooter was unbelievable. The local police, actually, they did a great job in terms of the shooting. He may have also hit this lunatic, but think of it. So we gave her the check. She's never seen anything like it. They live a very nice life, but no money, no money. And now she has $1 million. I said, that's only the beginning, because we did a GoFundMe and they raised about $6 million. And so the other two men that got hit were really hit hard. They were not going to make it. First question I ask is, how many people were killed? Because with so many people, no matter where a bullet goes, going to hit somebody. They said 3 are probably dead, Well, the 2 were taken immediately to the hospital. The doctors were great. I was taken to a hospital. The doctor was, the whole hospital was fantastic. I mean, just so professional, so good. He looked at me, he said, you are the luckiest man. I said, no, maybe it's something else, but he couldn't believe it. The doctor said, sir, this would be a good day for you to go to the lottery and buy a nice ticket. Because what happened here, I've never said anything like that. But look, some very good things happen. The nicest thing when people say, it was God, and God came down and he saved you because he wants you to bring America back. So many people say that. So many people say that. I hope that's true. I hope that's true. Thank you. And then I had a little more of God's help about 2 months later. You saw that? Where a brilliant Secret Service agent, that's all you can say. You know, a lot of people, when they walk down grass, beautiful flowers, very thick shrubs, everything beautiful, they could say, oh, what beautiful, oh, isn't this guy nice? He wasn't looking at this guy. This guy was no games, and he was walking down the middle of that fairway, and he's looking over